Good morning, Hold family. Kevin, Finney, Sean, we the people, Pack Drip, Big Ticket, To the House, Chico, DJ Local, Devlar, Veronica, Top Shot Common Man, JJL Smith. I did not make a bracket. Eagle Putt, Rowdy Rod. I owe you a DM, Rowdy. Matthew Lotus. Loftus, Den, Vince, Homie, everyone's here. What is up? What is up? What is up? As you may notice, the morning marketplace goes on. So don't expect too much today. I'm not a paid professional like Mike Zakarian, but today we're going to be talking about mostly the Roham Spaces, which if you didn't tune into the short live stream we kind of did yesterday, where we were talking about the blog that dropped and the spaces that Roham did, as well as some of the questions he answered. Like, there was so much information. So I think we're going to cover that. That's going to be the main focus because it affects a lot of things, like a lot, both short-term and long-term here. So first of all, I think the first thing we got to do is talk some basketball. I don't think there was anything too crazy that went on yesterday. Besides the Minnesota Timberwolves are on an absolute tear right now. They changed their Twitter name from the Minnesota Timberwolves to the Winnesota Timberwolves. I don't know if you saw that. I thought that was pretty funny, but maybe they're jumping the gun a little here. We need to get, I mean, they're doing great. They are the hottest team arguably in the NBA, but they like act like you've been there. Come on. Like, we need you to like deliver in the playoffs, but I don't know. I think they look good. So the Nuggets lost, they moved into the 6th seed. So there's a chance that they could avoid the play-in game, which I think they would have been completely fine anyways, but they've been on an absolute tear. They're crushing Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Cat, even Patrick Beverly. Can't believe I'm giving him a shout out, but they have been playing really, really, really well. They have this swagger. They have this belief that they can beat anybody, which is Cat stepping up and being a leader. Like, the team is looking good. It's them and Memphis that are just looking real good right now. Speaking of Memphis absolutely mollywopped the Houston Rockets, which we expected. The Rockets are trying to lose. Memphis, even with Ja sitting, is just such a deep next man up type of team. And we saw Bane had a good game. I think even guys off the bench, Melton put up 16. Zaire Williams put up 14. Good overall game from everyone. Jaren Jackson Jr., just another 3 blocks. It's just normal at this point for him. We saw Indiana decimate Portland. I don't think there's anything super notable there, but Portland once again losing like they're supposed to. That's what they're trying to do. Josh Hart had a good game, but they're trying to tank so they're ready for next year with Dame, and they have a good draft pick, and they can reboot that team. Let's see. New Orleans beat Atlanta. I think Valanciunas had a great game. Super efficient shooting. 10 for 16, 1 for 2 from 3. Only missed 1 free throw. Put up 12 rebounds and 4 assists to go along with that. We saw Gallinari on the Hawks put up crazy numbers. But let's see, who else? We had OKC Orlando. Nothing to write home about there. I know Wendell Carter Jr. went off. Phoenix and the Kings overtime. I know the Kings have 2 more games at their stadium, and so they did a oh yeah, thank you. You see my purse there too. But the Kings have 2 more games at their stadium before I believe they leave and build a new one. So I know they're doing a big goodbye. The Top Shot Kingdom guys were all there. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it. But I actually wasn't wasn't a huge fan of all the changing your profile pictures to Roham necessarily. I don't know. I just thought it was a little weird, but I thought this was incredible during the broadcast of the game. These guys, they brought these Roham masks, and you can see them in the background of the live broadcast, which I thought was hilarious. This actually made me laugh super hard. So shout out to Chewy and Poker Pro Eric and Puzzle and all those guys. That was good. That was good. Let's see what else happened. That game went into overtime. Devin Booker at the end of the fourth quarter hit a dagger, and then Davion Mitchell played such a good game. He looks so good, which makes me even more sad for the Kings, because like you traded away Halliburton, and it's just like if you had Mitchell and Halliburton, unreal. Like I feel like that would have been such a good backcourt. I feel like you could have gotten something good for De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but it's the Kings. Since when have they made sense? But yeah, Davion Mitchell put up 28 on 9 for 22 shooting. Not the best, but 4 for 7 from 3. He had 9 assists. He did have 5 turnovers, but I mean, he's young. He looked really good. He played good defense on Booker. Booker was held to only 31 points, which it's a lot, but I mean, Booker's another animal. Let's see, what else do we have? Utah went off against New York. Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't even want to play the regular season Randall drop, because is he even regular season Randall? He went 6 for 21, 1 from 6 for 3. He dropped 13 points and 11 rebounds. He was just, oh gosh, it is wild how much he is like fallen off this year. Like even in the regular season, like it's crazy. Regular season Randall. But no, I'm not pet sending Bandy. Bandy's with Raptor News. Shout out Raptor News. But that game, nothing to report about, except Mitchell went off. Dude has just been shooting lights out from exactly Summer League Randall. Exactly. We need a new drop. Yeah, and they have invested so much in him. I just hope it's a step back. I hope he's able to get out of his own head and just really focus up again and pull this off, because it's just weird. Like watching him play first on the Lakers, he looked good. And he had a lot of potential. And like by the time he made it to the Pelicans, he had put up solid seasons. And then by the time he made it to the Knicks, he put up some solid seasons. And like, I don't know, I just thought he was finally about to let off. Raptor News, I just said you're watching Bandy. I hope you're enjoying Mike's amenities. But yeah, Randall's just not looking good. Knicks get destroyed. That's what they do. Which is crazy, because you guys remember the very first double overtime win that they had against Boston, that whole side talk video that came out with people, just Knicks fans just losing their minds. Like I bought into it too. I was like, wow, the Knicks look good. The Knicks are going to like make a playoff run here, and wow, have they fallen apart. But moving on, Celtics just continue to just be the hottest team in basketball. Besides them, it's them or the Timberwolves. Like they are incredible. Like it's just everything seems to have suddenly just like come together finally. I think them getting Derek White was a huge move, as well as getting who else did they get in that trade? I can't remember, but they got rid of Schroeder. I think they just made some really solid trades that have really helped them out a lot. But Tatum went off for 30, 6 for 10 from 3, 11 for 17 overall. Jaylen Brown went off for 30 as well. I mean, they look great. And Peyton Pritchard put up 6 for 6, 5 for 5 from 3. So if you were playing Peyton Pritchard, a 3-pointer for moment ranks, congratulations to you, because what a pull. I don't think anyone played that though. And then Jokic had a bad game. For Jokic, that's the hilarious part. Like Jokic's bad game is like a solid game for a lot of other players, but he was 23, 8 and 4, just low on everything. And then he shot 8 for 23 from the field. That is just not the efficiency we're used to, and they got blown out because of it, which shows you if Jokic is not on every single game, like they lose, which I mean, just I don't know. I know there's been a little fatigue about talking about him for MVP, and people are now like, oh, it's Embiid now because Embiid hasn't won. People just don't get excited about Jokic because his play style is more fundamental based. It's incredible. It's like if you're a pure basketball fan, it is amazing to watch, but he's not running down the floor and throwing down these crazy dunks. He's not like just bullying people in the paint like Embiid or Giannis does. He's a less flashy player, and I think between that and him winning MVP last year, there's just a lot of people that want to see someone else get it instead of Jokic again. But I mean, I don't know. I think in terms of most valuable player, his PER is crazy. He's putting up better numbers than he's putting up better numbers than he's even put up last year, which is crazy. And Kung City, yeah. Embiid has fundamentals, but Embiid throws down. Embiid plays bully ball. Embiid is like animated. He trolls people. He talks garbage. He talks trash. Like Jokic is very much like he's not like super over the top verbose. He doesn't throw down these crazy dunks. Like his play style is just different. And I mean, watching it, like his highlight reel is incredible, but it's usually like a pass as opposed to Embiid is like this monstrous alley-oop. And so I don't know. For me, Jokic is MVP. I think he should get MVP just for his shot on one of the Morris twins. I am fully in support of that. So let's see. Bones Highland went 3 for 8. No one else on his team helped him either. Like we said, and that's why if Joker doesn't have like a flawless game, like the Nuggets get blown out like this. Like if he's not firing on all cylinders, and I think that's one of the reasons he has a good case for MVP. But I mean, if we go to the next game, which is the 76ers and Toronto, Toronto beat the 76ers in a pretty low scoring game. And Harden is struggling. Harden went 5 for 12. Well, first let's talk about Embiid really quick. Embiid struggled. Really a bad game. 6 for 20, 0 for 3 from 3. 13 rebounds, though, and 21 points. Is Murray? So I think Michael Porter Jr. and Murray are close, which will be interesting. But, I mean, Embiid needs all the help he can get, for sure. Oh, never mind. I guess we got a recent update. It wouldn't shock me if both those guys just take the year off instead of trying to come like back last second for the playoffs, just because like why risk getting re-injured when you're probably just you're not going to be in basketball shape. You're not going to have that chemistry with the team. I feel like it's just really high risk, like not a lot of reward. Maybe you get to the second round, but I think, which it sucks though, because you're wasting Jokic, like you're wasting a season of his prime. Like clearly guys in his prime. I mean, he's got a couple more years at least, but it is a tough decision, but still. Yeah, I agree, Artemis. I just don't know why you'd risk it. Like, is Jamal going to come back and is Jamal Murray going to come back and just immediately start putting up 50 points again? I don't see that happening. And just have him wait for the offseason, ease him in fully healthy next season. But I mean, it's a bummer because Jokic is pursuing that MVP. He's trying to get back to back. So you can't shut down Jokic either. So he's putting in all this wear and tear on his body for essentially nothing. So maybe you do try to bring them back. I don't know. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think they have any shot at winning the championship or really making any meaningful playoff run, even if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. come back and are completely healthy. Just, I mean, it takes time to get back in the swing of things. They've been out for a while. And then on top of that, like just chemistry, all this stuff. So we will see. We will see. And yeah, I agree. Finney, but still, I agree for sure that he has a long ways because he's so fundamentally based and he's not jumping out of the gym or relying on this pure, explosive, quick athleticism. He does have a much longer career probably, but still, like, he's in his prime right now, and there are limited years for that, without a doubt. But anyways, back to the 76ers. Embiid had a really rough game. Did not look good. 9 of his 21 points came off of free throws. But more importantly, James Harden, 5 for 12, 0 from 4 from 3, 7 for 10 from free throws with 17 points. So he scored 10 points without the free throws. He had 8 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 steals. Like, not bad. But I don't know if you guys watched the game, but Harden was frustrated. He and Doc Rivers are already seeming to clash. Like, oh my gosh, dude. It is the Harden honeymoon might be over before it started, which is crazy. Like, Harden just got there and he's already having issues with Doc Rivers, it seems. I don't know. There was a video in particular, a highlight in particular during a timeout. Harden was trying to talk to Harden was being a little aggressive towards Doc Rivers, it seemed. Doc Rivers was trying to talk to him, and then Harden disrespectfully kind of shook him off and walked off. I'm not reading too much into it, but I don't know. It just does not. Something seems off watching that team. Like, I don't know. And I'm just not a fan of if you quit on a team. Like, I just don't want someone like that on my team, whether that's Ben Simmons, Goran Dragic, or Harden. Like, you need winners, and someone that's willing to quit on their team will never be a winner. So I don't know. I still think the 76ers won that trade. I mean, it sounds like Ben Simmons might not even come back this season. Who knows? And if that's the case, like, they really won this trade. But I don't know. Harden. Yeah. I think the Sixers. I agree with this, Sydney, and I agree with this as well. Like, this. Let me keep that up a little longer. I do think when it comes playoff time, the Sixers will be okay. I think the Sixers will make somewhat of a run at the very least, but it is just kind of crazy to me that Harden, who pushed so hard to go to the 76ers to be with Morey, that he, like, after all of this, he's just not like we've seen Harden's career. Harden does this. This is a pattern, which is so sad to say, but Harden does this, and usually he has this honeymoon where this dude's going off, like, everything's good. Everyone at the beginning was like, "Oh, this must not be Harden. It must be the team, the other team, the coach / the ownership, like, whatever it is. Like, that's why he wanted out." But yeah, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm just kind of shocked. At the end of the day, I think the 76ers are fine. It's not time to hit the eject button or anything here. But I'm just kind of shocked watching these 76er games and watching just Harden's body language and all that. And it just goes back to like I said, he quit on a team, and I don't think that's ever a good thing. Like, even if he wants out of the situation, like, you show up, you play hard, and then you also behind the scenes or publicly demand a trade, but you still put up numbers like almost out of spite. Like, just quitting on a team is just wild to me. What Ben Simmons did. If you don't think that the NBA Players Association is going to suffer because of that, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they are going, the next negotiations that happen, the owners are going to make the players take a step backwards in terms of progress when it comes to getting to choose what they want, because what Ben Simmons did, and now the fact that he's trying to legally get his, like, go through courts to get his money back is wild, absolutely wild. And yeah, breakfast cereals, you're preaching to the choir here. You're preaching to the choir. Not a fan of what KD did at all. I will never be a fan of someone who takes the easy route, quits on their team, and then goes and joins, in KD's case, an actual championship team. They had won championships without him. So, oh yeah, not a fan. And then really quick, yeah, perfect cereal. I mean, Harden needs to do something in the playoffs for once in his career, because I mean, he'll just be known as a regular season person until he can change that narrative, like you said. And I don't know. I don't see it happening. We saw him in the Nets game. Any big game, when it really matters, when all the cards are on the table, Harden just kind of seems to shrink. It's a good question. I mean, maybe, but the fact that anyone's even thinking that Harden might leave the 76ers, which I don't think is going to happen. He's with Morey. He's with one of the best players, if not the best player in the NBA, in Embiid. Like, that's the best situation he could have, besides, the one he had previously with KD and Kyrie. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, getting back to the games, we had one more game. We had the San Antonio Golden State game. I don't know if you guys saw the very end. Keldon Johnson put back in a great little tip in, and to win the game off a missed free throw. And then Klay Thompson didn't have time to even really get off a shot to try and tie it or win it. But Spurs win. DeJounte Murray went 19, 6, and 8. No steals. So glad I didn't play that in moment ranks, although I still didn't place this time in anywhere meaningful. Richardson off the bench had 25 points, 3 for 5 from 3, 8 for 12. And then Jordan Poole kind of balled. And Klay Thompson took a lot of shots, but went 6 for 12 from 3. I think he's starting to find his feet, but I think, and I mean, we the people, I think this is a massive overreaction. Just like Klay Thompson has not played basketball in 2 years, and Jordan Poole is finally like playing well. I don't think he gets to just jump the gun and be like, yeah, Poole's better than Klay. Like, Klay Thompson, arguably a top 75 player of all time, one of the greatest shooters of all time. Like, yes, Jordan Poole has surpassed him. I don't think you can say that. I think Klay Thompson is still finding his feet. I still think he's probably even just getting into basketball shape still. Like, he took 2 years off. Like, that's crazy. That's so much time to not be in the game, to not be up to speed. I mean, at this point, the game has changed even a little bit. And Klay has to adjust to that. Their team has changed. He needs to build rapport and chemistry with these other new players. Like, the last time Klay Thompson played, like, things were very, very different in the NBA as a whole. I believe there was a graphic that the NBA Twitter released where they're like, yeah, like look at all these players where they were when the last time Klay Thompson played, and just everyone was on different teams. Like I think like Kawhi was on Toronto still, and all this stuff. So I think that's important to remember. Let's not overreact here. And I mean, playoffs is when we'll really see how good Poole is. Like regular season against the Spurs does not move the needle on how good or bad I think Jordan Poole is. Like put him in a meaningful game, give him meaningful minutes, and then we'll see what that guy is made of. And I'm a Poole fan. I'm a Poole fan. I'm all about the Poole party, but I don't know. Let's pump the brakes here before we get another Andrew Wiggins to the All-Star game situation, please. Like let's just pump the brakes. I'm gonna take the over. Perfect Cereal. All right. So nothing like a quick talk about the games. I don't think there's anything too meaningful that happened besides Minnesota taking the 6th seed, which is kind of crazy. Who had that on their bingo card this year? But I mean, yeah, Minnesota looks great. They're so much fun to root for. I never thought I would be a Patrick Beverley fan. I never thought in a million years I would be. I grew up watching him and hating him. But he has really turned that team around and has shown some crazy leadership. Anyways, let's see. So the reason we're all here, Top Shot. There was a lot that happened. Roham did a Spaces Saturday morning that I listened to. I highly recommend, if you haven't listened to it, at some point, just throw it on in the background. You don't have to listen to it super, super, super in depth. And we the people know that is XXX Tentacion. But I recommend you listen to it. It is fascinating to listen to. Roham has a lot that he covers, and he does a pretty good job at just going bullet point by bullet point, not rambling or like going on and on about what could be possible in the future, but being a lot more like substance based in the sense that he's like, yes, so this is coming in April, or this is coming during the playoffs, or this is coming the start of next season, like giving definitive like time periods and explaining it in depth instead of just being like, yeah, so we're trying to do that and like that's coming in the future. Like I highly recommend, if you like want to know more about Top Shot, listening to the guy in charge of it is a great way to start. And he did it was a great Spaces. They did a short question and answer, which I like don't hang around for forever answering everyone's questions. Take a couple and then bounce. And they addressed a lot. They released the blog before the Spaces happened, and the blog contained all this information that Roham touched on. He did touch on more, and he did talk about more and more in detail, but the blog allowed people to get that information a different way at the same time. And there was a little information that dropped during the Spaces from a question and answer. We'll talk about that in a second, because that did kind of affect the economy of Top Shot. But in this case, the blog had everything that Roham said. On top of that, they released a quick Discord message where they tagged everyone and just had bullet points of these changes. Very, very, very important. So 3 different ways to get this information at the same time, released around the same time, so everyone kind of has like a fair shot at things. I think that is super important. And yeah, of course they have Top Shot, and that's expected. I know that's not ideal. I know we don't want to hear that, but like timelines are missed. This is development always takes longer than you think. Testing does take longer than you think. There are setbacks, et cetera, but still them committing to something is important, because that means 1, it's a priority, and then 2, like they're saying, hey, we're confident enough that we've been working on this that we're going to say, hey, this is coming. So I know they said Pack Marketplace. I know they said Pack Marketplace comes the end of 2022. That's a little more vague, which reading in between the lines, there's a chance it doesn't happen at the end of the year. That's a little less certain, which I mean, I feel like that is the problem, is that Top Shot needs to explicitly say that, because people get so hyped and people are so excited about Top Shot that they're like, oh, Roham said into 2022. That is written in stone. If it does not come by the end of 2022, I'm going on Twitter, I'm tagging everyone, and I am fudding until they open up the Pack Marketplace. So I do feel like breakfast cereals, I've always felt the same way about Harden. Always felt the same way about Harden until he puts up a good playoff performance, like a whole series, and does something meaningful. I mean, with this team, he should go far, if not try to win the whole thing. So I don't know. Anyways, back to Top Shot. But let's first go down the blog, and then we'll talk about some of the things that were in the spaces that maybe weren't put in the blog and the importance of that. So here we go. All right. So the first thing Roham talked about, and the first thing in this blog, is about scarcity on NBA Top Shot. So 60Ks are getting capped. They are being put at LE, which is good, because, I mean, I was assuming they'd get pushed to 80K or something like that before the year was over. But we've seen how much people have freaked out about 60Ks. Just imagine if Top Shot was like, yeah, so we did the numbers and we're minting these to 80K now. Like, I don't know if you guys remember how crazy it was when they announced they were pushing some from 35K to 40K, or they were releasing a new 40K for Series 2. But people just absolutely lost their marbles on that, which, I mean, is understandable, because no one exactly saw that coming. But still, it would have been a bloodbath if they, instead of doing this, decided to push to 80K, because I think we all know the 60K was them anticipating a new surge of new users, which I think is a good thing. The fact that Top Shot is preparing for that, so we don't have a repeat of what happened in Series 2, is healthy. But when you don't get that massive surge of users like you were thinking, then you need to adjust. You can't be hard-headed and just stick to whatever you're doing. And Top Shot made an adjustment, whether that is based on some numbers they ran and the data they got, or listening to the community, who was definitely upset about the 60Ks. And look, in a perfect world, 60Ks shouldn't matter. They should be considered trade tickets. They shouldn't affect the value of rares or legendaries or even limited edition common moments. But I think psychologically, when people are seeing all these 60Ks, when a bunch of moments that would pump before so many 60Ks were released in flash challenges don't pump, and just the 60Ks go up a couple of dollars, people don't like that. And I get it, but I don't know. I do think that Top Shot, I think their original plan was they wanted a floor of $1 on these 60Ks. They wanted them to, if you listed it for $1, it might not sell type of deal. I think they wanted that because trade tickets, they were planning on having trade tickets used for a lot of stuff. So they wanted trade tickets to be super accessible. But that's a whole nother story. We'll get to that in a bit. So anyways, 60Ks are capped. They're all LE now. There will be a lot more released in packs, because most of them are up to like over 30,000 are still in packs for most of them. So there's going to be tons and tons of 60Ks to come, but they're not increasing the circulation count. They're not making any more. What they will do, is they said, is there's a hard cap of 30K. If they release more base set commons, they will be 30K moments. And Austin had put up a poll. I don't know if you guys saw it. Austin Kent, head of content at Top Shot, but he said, "Hey, would you guys rather have a 160K of a player or 230Ks?" And then I think he said like 415Ks or something like that, or maybe it's just the two options. But the winner by a pretty wide margin was the 230Ks, and so Top Shot listened, and I think that's really cool just from a moment perspective because it gives us the opportunity for someone like Ja Morant to get two base set moments instead of one. And I don't know if you've noticed, but Ja Morant's been putting up a lot of highlights, and I would love to see more of them captured in Top Shot. And yeah, some of them will be scooped back up like 5-6 years from now or 10 years from now in the run it back. But I would love more Ja Morant moments, no matter how they come. Yeah, real quick, like the stream if you haven't already. Thank you, Tron. Appreciate you. We have 110 people watching and 66. We're at 50%. Oh wow, I did not realize I shared that. My apology. All right. So 30Ks moving forward. Then rookies who made the Rising Star will be limited to one base set moment, which is huge. So right now, the most accessible rookie moments are the Rising Star rookie moments, and that's where all the best players are. Like the Cade Cunningham, that's his most accessible moment, even though it's a challenge reward. Scotty Barnes is out of almost 18,000, and that's his most accessible moment. And a lot of people were worried, well, do these players get a base set 60K moment, which makes these Rising Star moments far less significant. In Series 2, LaMelo and Anthony Edwards both had 40Ks, so they had two base set moments. They had a rookie 4K and then a 40K. So I think a lot of people were thinking that 60Ks would come. I was a little worried about that, and I didn't stack the Rising Stars too heavily because of that, because I didn't want to overextend myself in something that was very speculative. But Top Shot came out and said, hey, we're not making 60Ks. What's important to notice or remember is that they could still release another Mobley or another Scotty Barnes or another Davion Mitchell or any of these guys who are in the Rising Star in like an LE pack. So like Hustle and Show could contain one of these guys still. So it's not like this it's not a guarantee that this is their most accessible moment or they're that low or that high circulation, so 17,500 won't get doubled basically by another limited edition 18,000 moment in a new set. So it's not a guarantee that this is the most diluted someone like Scotty Barnes or Mobley or Giddey or anything will be released, but we know there's not a 60K. So owning that Rising Star set looks really good right now. And I mean, that's why I bought it when the roadmap was released. I told myself I was going to make sure I collect that entire set. And that was even before Flash Challenges had happened. I felt like it was just important to at least have exposure to all these rookies. And I mean, this rookie class was insane. So I'm very, very glad I made that commitment and stuck to it even during like a downturn in the market, because owning those rookies is super important. We've already seen with this Flash Challenge, you needed Mobley and you needed Davion Mitchell. And both of those, the Mobley's an expensive moment, and I got that as a challenge reward. And I think, and I was not tempted to sell because one, I want the whole set, but two, I think Mobley's going to be in more challenges. So having that Mobley pays dividends. It's like almost a passive income for getting that challenge reward. And so I think that was the move. And now with this being out that they're not getting 60Ks, it's not going to absolutely just tank the value of that set. So Huge news right away. Huge news. So guaranteed rarity. So we're back to okay. Yeah, real quick. Roham tweeted about this. We know that Bones and Kuminga were going to get a Rising Star moment because they participated in the Rising Stars. And Top Shot said they weren't sure how they were going to distribute those yet. We now know that we now know Roham tweeted answering someone's question after the spaces that it is coming via airdrop and it'll happen in a week or two. So I think it's important. I would assume, and I would pray that they go to full set holders that already have the Rising Star set, because I think it would be pretty whack if you collected the entire Rising Star set in the drops, you participated, or you bought in the marketplace, you did the challenges, and then they airdrop these moments and they don't, and you aren't guaranteed one as a Rising set holder, and then your set is broken like that. Yeah, I would be very upset, both as a Rising Star set holder and just as someone who is a big Top Shot person. That just wouldn't make sense to me. So I would assume, this is an assumption, and there's not been an announcement. We just know there's an airdrop happening in a week or two. But I would assume it's going to full set holders. And then Roham, really quick, Veronica did not mention anything about Striker all day. It was a very Top Shot focused spaces. So guaranteed rarity. So anyways, guaranteed packs are coming back. So let's all rejoice in the chat, drop some W's for the guaranteed packs. That means when you buy a pack, you are getting the guaranteed rare in a rare pack, or a guaranteed legendary in a legendary pack, etc., etc. And I think that's good. I think the mixed packs aren't the worst idea, but Top Shot just did such a terrible job at easing people into it. They went from being like, here, every pack is a guaranteed winner. Like, maybe not by a ton, but you are guaranteed, or sorry, every non-base set pack, because the base set pack you could like lose a little bit. Like, theoretically, they're all plus EV, but you could lose some if you're pulling all 60Ks across like 10 packs. But like the Hustle and Show packs dropped, and those were like, you didn't really necessarily profit. Maybe you did a little if you're pulled like a Greg Brown or one of the more coveted moments in that set before the challenge dropped and the Hustle and Show Series 2 moments became the bottleneck. But what was I going to say? Oh, but you were more or less breaking even. Like, you were getting what you paid for. And I think going from 16, 17 months of that, of where you were guaranteed profit, or at least guaranteed to like be somewhat breaking even, like you weren't guaranteed. It wasn't a chance that you were going to lose like over half the money you spent, like as soon as you open the pack, and going straight from guaranteed packs to like, hey, here's 60% loser packs, like not easing people into it, not helping people like start to learn how to handle these and maybe like think before they jump into the queue and just max packs, because that's what we've been taught to do by Top Shot. We have been taught that max packs are the way. Getting a pack is the best thing you can do every single time. It is guaranteed profit. If you care about doing a challenge, you need to buy as many packs as you can, etc., etc. But they went from that to being like, okay, yeah, here's mixed packs, and you could get a rare or a legendary, which is really, really cool. That's really, really cool, and that's something they need to figure out. I think mixed packs have a place in Top Shot, but they are far from being a complete product. And part of that is you can't go from guaranteed W, even if it's a small W, even if it's like, hey, you automatically get a Hustle and Show moment every time you open this pack. You can't go from that and then go, hey, 70% loss. Like 70% of these packs are losers. Like, because opening 5 loser packs in a row, when you're paying a premium, you're not paying $9 a pack, you're paying $14, $19 a pack. Like, that's a punch in the gut. Like, that hurts. That hurts, and there's no way around it. So I think they're bringing back guaranteed packs. Huge fan of that. I believe that there are mixed packs for the starter packs. They are $9 now, and you have a small chance of pulling a rare or a legendary when you join the site, which is cool. I think, yeah, here we go. Blended packs, will remain available, including for trade tickets, and you can pull rare or legendary. I think that's cool. I think that's good. And I think Top Shot hopefully will figure out how to like ingratiate mixed packs into Top Shot more graciously in the future, because I think that's important, and I don't think it's like a complete money grab or anything like that, like people are saying. Like, you need to make moments accessible. That's how you get people excited. And if you first join Top Shot and then you find out, oh, I have to spend $1,000 before I'm even eligible for this pack drop that I actually want, like to get a rare or something like that kind of sucks. And I know that we've all been in this for a while, and we feel like, hey, like it's almost a rite of passage to build up your collector score so you can have a chance at those packs. But there's got to be a balance. There can't be this like elites and then us, because we didn't like it. We didn't like it when we came in and all these people who got in super early and had 120 John Morant TSDs were the ones in charge of things and benefiting from things. So we don't want that on a lesser scale. We don't want to be the ones holding all this collector score and then be like, oh yeah, so you have to buy my bags in order to have a chance at getting a moment that you want. So I do think there's got to be a balance here. Yes, and I think this is also the point. I think someone did the math, and 15 milli was taken out of the Top Shot ecosystem via packs because people pay Dapper. So that Dapper balance or that credit card balance that you might have spent in the marketplace that stays within Top Shot users got sucked out by Dapper. And that's just not good for the marketplace in general. And big ticket, we'll get to that in a sec. It looks like this will be a 2-hour morning marketplace. So my apologies if you have somewhere to go. All right. So we had some roadmap updates. They talked about customizing your profile. Very vague. Roham in the spaces mentioned this is coming in April, though. He said it's important to be able to display your fandom. So there's some big changes here. It'll be interesting to see what those changes look like. But once again, he gave us an actual time. He said, hey, like this is coming in April, which is awesome. Like that's important. I don't need to be told that customizing my profile is coming soon, or maybe end of 2022 or at the beginning. Like I need to know. Tell me about stuff that's going to happen soon. Don't tell me about stuff that I have time to speculate on or time to get upset about. Tell me about stuff that's coming soon. That's exciting. So Top Shot did that, and that's what they focused on. I love that. So customizing your profile, we don't know a lot, but we know it's coming in April. I'm sure we'll be putting content out about that. Awesome. Offers and bids are coming. We already knew this. There wasn't really given a date or time by Roham. He just kind of expounded on the process. Very cool. Crafting challenges. So they said, don't quote us on the name, but there's going to be challenges that permanently lock moments, so even more closely burns them. I think Roham used the word burn in the spaces. I'm not entirely certain, but I mean, Top Shot has been very careful about not using that word, which I think is important because we're still seeing confusion on how the locker room works. I think crafting challenges seem very cool, partly because it sounds like Top Shot will control it to a degree. So they won't just be like, oh yeah, just throw these all in the furnace. It's like, hey, if you have this moment or this moment or this moment, you're allowed to go ahead and permanently get rid of it. So I think that's important just because we don't want if the locker room was a burning situation, there'd be certain moments in there getting burned at way too high of a clip, and you won't realize it until it's too late. When a flash challenge happens in a moment that the 60K becomes the bottleneck of something. Never good. So I think these crafting challenges sound interesting. Flow coin support. I hope that this means this is important, by the way, for sure. Very, very important. Makes me very excited for the future of Top Shot. The only thing I will say is instead of getting into the weeds of this, is just that I hope Top Shot gives you a chance to like stake or get rewards via flow in the future. That would be huge. I think it'd be huge for the flow token, the flow blockchain. It'd be great for them. And it'd be awesome for us users to feel more a part of the flow like ecosystem. But here it's saying you'll be able to store your Dapper balance in flow, which is like super cool. Like, so you could take your Dapper balance, you could put it into flow, and if flow goes up, you then have more Dapper balance to buy moments. That's huge. Very bullish on that. They've improved the infrastructure with payments and withdrawals. I've seen good news about this constantly. I saw someone I know, I shout out AG, I think it was AG. He went ahead and did a withdrawal to Coinbase, and it was instant. And he was like, holy cow, like I thought this would at least take a couple of days. So Top Shot behind the scenes doing a lot of work with the payment system. I think that's really, really cool to see. All right, the next section. This is the exciting part. This is the IRL utility part, which IRL, the IRL utility is what I think causes Top Shot to explode. Normal people don't want a challenge, a Jordan Poole Metallic Silver Phantom Edition, because to them they're all YouTube clips. No matter how rare it is or how exclusive it is or how much it's going for on the market, that it's harder to make that connection for people. But when you're at a game or you have a league pass or any of those things, and you can say, oh, I got this because I collect Top Shot moments. Normal people who aren't tapped into the NFTs or think NFTs are weird or stupid or whatever, that makes sense to them. Oh, like, maybe I don't even understand this NFT thing or believe in it, or I think it's dumb. But if I own this, I can get this. Like, why not? Like, why not give that a stab? I was going to spend this money on League Pass anyways. How about I just buy moments and then I get League Pass? Like, that's huge. So Roham in the Spaces kind of expounded on this. He said, hey, we have 3 Access Unlocked events coming for the playoffs. Awesome. Timeline. We have hundreds of tickets for the playoffs. Awesome. Timeline. We know when it's coming. He also said that there's going to be an NBA Top Shot rewards store put on Top Shot soon. And he said the playoffs, the beginning of playoffs, once again, we know when it's happening. Huge. And then he said Team Discord. He said Team Discord communities, they're going to start. So in case you guys don't know, a month ago, maybe they announced, hey, we're giving $10,000 a month to the 9 Lives Lounge, and they have to use that money for the community. Maybe they put on events or do things like that. Very, very cool. But they now are expanding that to Team Discord. So if you have an S2 set, an S1 set, or the complete team set, and you're part of a Team Discord, then your like team community is going to be getting $10,000 a month to do something with. Very, 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 very cool. Very cool. And then NBA League Pass, it'll be first going out to international users this year, the rest of this year, which is awesome because they're thinking of ways to include our international friends. who can't go to a game, or maybe shipping them a jersey or something like that is a little more complicated. This is big. Like, this is great. Including everyone is important. This is a worldwide product, just like the NBA, and we want everyone to benefit from owning Top Shot moments with IRL benefits. And League Pass is a no-brainer, and it is great. And I know that some people are like, oh, like they reacted to the community. I can promise you that they've been working on this. There's no way they haven't been working on this for a while. This is a perfect example of where the NBA's red tape slows things down, and there's a lot of things they have to work through. So shout out to Top Shot for getting that done. I think that's huge. Really quick. So I think I'm going to catch up with the chat real quick. Kunk, I think this is coming in April when they revamp things. So I'm not too worried about that. There was no prepayment of packs. I think that's a ways off. I think that's just not a priority on their end. I know Jacob addressed that somewhere. We'll have to look at that later. But anyways, so like I said, Top Shot's opening a NBA Top Shot reward store on Top Shot beginning of playoffs, I believe. And you don't spend money, and it sounds like you don't spend trade tickets on these rewards either, but they have this sort of frequent flyer miles program. Basically, I would assume, they did not say this, so let me not put words in Roham's or Jacob's mouth, but I would assume, or I would speculate, that marketplace activity will reward you with reward points, or maybe even buying packs, you get reward points, and you get to spend those on rewards. Like, maybe they've mentioned merch. They've mentioned, oh, here it is. Yeah. Digital and physical rewards, merch, tickets, money can't buy experiences, like really, really exciting things. And then they mentioned the kiosk that we saw at Summer League. They said it is not ready for mainstream adoption, but it is something that they want. And they want a kiosk eventually in every stadium in the NBA, which we were told originally when it happened. That's why we got so insanely excited and went a little over the top with it. I probably am one of the most guilty people. I thought for sure on Christmas Day there would be kiosks everywhere, and it would be like one of the coolest things ever. But that did not happen. But that's going to happen. Then they're trying to make a more concerted effort to be at important events. They're going to be at the Mint Collective in Vegas, and I'm sure there's going to be some cool content there, but more importantly, just exposure. I know there's people that have been complaining that, hey, like, it just seems like Top Shot's not doing a great job at getting the word out enough. A good example is Kevin Garnett, as part of his jersey retirement, was given a goodie basket, and part of that contained a bunch of NFTs, and there was no Top Shot NFT in there. Not one. They gave him all these other NFTs that had nothing to do with the NBA. There wasn't a Top Shot NFT. And I think part of the reason there wasn't was just because Top Shot hasn't made NBA teams or enough people aware. And I don't think the Celtics really knew about it. And as a result, that would have been a golden opportunity to give KG his own moment, or give KG Celtics moments, something like that. So I think this is huge. Just brings more awareness. Just like when they were at the All-Star game, and so many people, Jacob tweeted out, he said, the amount of people that come up and ask him what Top Shot is makes him realize how early we are, and how many people have never heard of this. And it's true, but the flip side of that is you need people to hear about it. So, so that's important. And then Top Shot convention. Dude, this is crazy. I don't know. There are no timelines about this, which I think is good, because Top Shot has to figure this out. This is not some small feat. They have to figure out what even happens at this convention, much less plan it, where it is, book people, all that. But this is huge. Huge. If you know what Complex Con is, or you've seen a video about Complex Con, or you've been to Complex Con, that is place. I've gone to every Complex Con for the last 4 or 5 years. I've gone to a lot of Complex Cons, and Complex Con is this place where all these streetwear brands and entertainment brands get together. They release super exclusive, like, clothing and sneakers and all this stuff, and it's just a celebration of streetwear and hip hop culture and all this stuff. It's like it's amazing, and it helps build these brands. It helps get all these like kind of lesser known brands exposure. You have the one I just went to, like Lil Yachty was DJing. There's performances by ASAP Rocky. When I was in Chicago, the Juice World performed. R.I.P. I met Sean Evans every single year I'm there. Like it's a really cool experience. Like and Top Shot doing that just helps. One, it helps everyone get a taste of that IRL experience, which is important because I got lucky enough to go to Milwaukee. Veerman was lucky enough to go to the rookie draft class, and him and I had a conversation where we're like, yeah, when I went to this is, and we already believed in Top Shot, but this is what made me be like, yeah, Top Shot's going to be huge. That's why one reason why I'm such a big picture, like as some people would say, like super optimistic shill about Top Shot. It's because I've seen what they're capable of. But everyone needs that experience, not just a couple people with access unlocked events. So this is huge. And the best example is that my dad thought Top Shot was dumb. My dad thought Top Shot was really dumb. I'd be like, Dad, okay, go buy this pack. Like you have enough dapper. You don't have to spend any of your own money. Go buy this pack. My dad thought it was so stupid. He didn't even really want to open his packs or anything like that. Didn't care. Like he would low-key kind of make fun of me for thinking Top Shot was cool, for thinking Top Shot like held any value or anything like that. My dad goes to Milwaukee, boom, it clicks for him. He has a conversation with Jacob. He understands like why Top Shot has value, why Top Shot's important, why someone who is a fan of the NBA would want to collect Top Shots. And my dad loves Top Shot now. Just think if that happened on a massive scale. That's when Top Shot, like I said, IRL utility is when Top Shot starts to become part of NBA culture. And when that happens is when Top Shot actually has a chance of like getting lots of new users and blowing up and all that. I wouldn't even say this, Eric. I would just say that every generation has their own scam. Their scam was baseball card, like pieces of cardboard that people are paying lots of money for. And this scam is Top Shot, like YouTube clips. But when you understand all the everything that's behind these YouTube clips, it makes way more sense than collecting a piece of cardboard. But you have to figure out how to help these people understand what's behind these YouTube clips, because like if they just look at Top Shot, to them this is stupid. You have to help them understand everything behind it, and that's not the easiest thing to do. It took my dad a full all expenses paid trip to Milwaukee for him to make that click. So it's not the easiest thing in the world, and it's something that I tried to explain to him many times. And then last part, we are getting through this Top Shot ecosystem. So they talked about all Top Shot moments are non-custodial. This is huge long-term. They are building a full-time team led by the former head of product for one of Ethereum's most groundbreaking decentralized apps. They are working on, they're pumping $10 million into the like third party economy. So like if you have, so since basically the breakdown here, if you have, so now that Top Shot moments are non-custodial, you can take them off and put them in a wallet. Suddenly those moments are available for a lot of things. Someone could build a video game and you can use moments because they're non-custodial. You could build like some sort of like gambling site. You can do like pretty much anything you can think of now. And that's huge. And so Top Shot's saying, hey, we're giving out these grants to people to help them build tools or basically add utility to Top Shot moments, because Top Shot can only develop at a certain pace. Like they cannot, they only have so many developers, and they're working so hard on the Top Shot site already. We have something coming out in April. We have the rewards market coming out in the beginning of playoffs. Like that takes time and development. So they're saying, hey, let's open this thing up. Let's incentivize people to develop on Flow and build stuff for Top Shot. That is huge. That is huge. And then Roham and the Spaces went on to say that hundreds of millions of dollars are being dedicated to building out the Flow ecosystem as a whole. So that's not just Top Shot, but all Flow projects. So once again, huge, 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 huge. And so that's the end of the blog. There was a lot there, and Roham talked about it even more. Once again, I'm trying to cover it all, but I would recommend you go and just listen to the Spaces. Just throw it on in the background. You do not have to listen super attentively, but there is a lot of really good information there, and hearing it from Roham and the way he explains it, I think is huge. And I think it's important if you are even hesitant about Top Shot, or you think Top Shot has potential, listen to Roham talk. You don't have to get indoctrinated into his cult. You don't have to like tweet out a profile picture with Roham's face edited on it. Like you don't have to do all that, but just listen to the Spaces. The guy is a smart man. He understands this tech. He has a vision of the future, and he's sharing it with people. So I think that's important, to be behind a visionary. That's important. Now, Top Shot needs to do a little better job of making sure everyone's sharing that vision and that everyone's on the same page here. I will say that. We have had some issues with Top Shot. There have been some sloppy mistakes that are still being made. We've had some Top Shot employees be a little overly optimistic, and I would even say tone deaf, considering the circumstances of the Top Shot marketplace and their user base. So we need everyone to kind of sync up and get on board here. But I'd say listen to Roham. I think Jacob is on the same page as Roham, and listening to them talk was super insightful. I think it's just a really good listen. I cannot recommend it enough. And we always say, do your own research. I would say this is part of doing your own research. You should listen to that Spaces, not me recap it for you. And not just read the blog, because you're missing out on more information. That Spaces is crucial. And that Spaces is also on YouTube, which shout out to Top Shot, because they did a good job at here it is. Yeah. So this Spaces is already up on YouTube. You can go and listen to it. You can listen to it on Twitter. This is great. I don't think the last Roham office hours was posted, or if it was, I never saw it, which is just as good as it not being posted, because I'm pretty tapped in terms of checking their YouTube, checking their Twitter and stuff like that. But this was put up within 24 hours. So hats off to Top Shot for doing that. I had mentioned in a tweet yesterday, I think it's awesome that here is the blog, and let's see if we can get it to pop up. Let's give this old pal a refresh here. Also, I realize I'm not sharing screen, so there was a pop-up down here. I clicked off of it, so it must be a cookie thing that it's not popping up again. But when you log on to Top Shot, you can go to the blog right here. You can read about it. Or there was a pop-up here that says, hey, there's a Roham Spaces. And you could click on it and it would take you right to it so you can listen to it. That's huge. The best user base is a smart and informed user base. And Top Shot is doing a much better job of giving people the tools to become informed. That's huge. These are small things that make a world of difference, both short-term and long-term. And look, Top Shot still has a lot of work to do, both from a personnel perspective, a product perspective, all this stuff. And then one thing I'll address, one thing that wasn't in the blog that I think is important, is that someone, I don't know if someone asked or just Roham just addressed it, but the beta question, why are we still in beta? Why are we still in beta? Well, one of the things Roham brought up is they want a pack marketplace. And in order to have a pack marketplace, well, a pack marketplace is basically something on the list that they want before they leave beta. They have clearly a list of features. They want to flesh out their entire site before they leave beta and get things tested, which is important because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been some mistakes. And I think it's so funny when people are like, why aren't we leaving beta? But then at the same time, complain about mistakes that happen. It's like, pick one. Like if you're in beta, you're testing. So we shouldn't be leaving beta if there are problems. But the pack marketplace is something that Roham said is coming at the end of 2022. Like I said before, I don't know if I'd bank on that as much as opposed to him saying, oh, this is coming in April. This is coming beginning of playoffs. Those are a little more definitive timelines. Setbacks do happen. But just the fact that he's confident enough to put that out there is a good sign. Oh, yeah, exactly, Finney. What NFT project has actually left beta? I mean, what NFT project is even worth saying they're in beta? Like, they're not big enough to do that. And like, there's so many in the tech world. Like, being in beta takes a while. Like, this is not a uncommon thing that Top Shot's doing. This is a very common tech product way that they're handling things. This is not unheard of. I mean, I'm trying to think. The easiest example is Fortnite. Fortnite was huge. Fortnite was pumping out billions of dollars and it was still in beta. And that thing was a pretty polished project by then already. But Fortnite had things that they wanted to add before, and they were full on. They had these season passes, they had all this stuff. Like, this is not uncommon. I mean, Top Shot, I think, will leave beta. I think exactly, Orion. Like, people would lose their minds if one of these mistakes happen, and they're like, "You're out of beta. You're out," and that's why Top Shot's not leaving beta. Give it. Roham originally said in, I think, his other spaces or something, that them leaving beta at the soonest would happen the beginning of next season. He said that a long time ago. So, like, the beginning of Series 4. So the fact that people still are clamoring for this stuff is, like, almost hilarious, because it's like, and maybe they don't know. I don't know. Maybe they didn't get that information, but it's like, dude, we've been told they aren't leaving beta at least to the end of this next upcoming offseason. And there's a lot that we're seeing that they're still pumping out. We're about to get profile collection customization. I think that's important. The fact that I can go to my collection and I can look up, let's look up the archive set. I have a lot of archive moments. So look, right here, it says I have over 1,000 moments. The fact that I can go here, I can look up the archive set. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm sharing again. Look, it says here, look, I have over 1,000 moments here. But the fact that I can go and I can look up the archive set. Whoops. And it has dynamic searching, which is cool. But it doesn't tell me how many archive moments I have. If I have duplicates, they're not. I mean, now I can put them in order, which is great. But I would love it if they showed some way to, like, stack your duplicates, stuff like that. Like, there's a lot that needs to be done here still, and I think that's pretty important. So, shout out Bandy, shout out Raptor News. I hope you're enjoying Mike's amenities, Raptor News. Yeah. And you can, Eric, but I'm just saying I want it in my collection page. I shouldn't have to go to a set specific thing to do that. Like if I'm looking up the set, it should tell me. I don't know. I think there's a lot that needs to happen here, and it sounds like they're getting quite a facelift. So I'm excited about that. But oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think there's a lot more things to worry about than whether if Top Shot's in beta or not. But so anyways, I think we're going to end it there. I've gone a little over an hour. Actually, didn't go too long, which is great. We talked about the Top Shot blog, the Top Shot ecosystem, the blog they released, the Spaces Roham did, and some of the games. I believe I will be doing the morning marketplace tomorrow as well, and we'll dive a little more into the UFC drop and stuff like that. I just don't think I had enough time to cover it today, but the drop happens the Tuesday, so we'll cover it before it happens, so you'll be prepared. We'll talk all about the moments. Oh, this is great. My living room is actually going to get more into beta before it gets less into beta. I'm moving out of my apartment soon. I'm in the process of moving all of my sneakers, which so far I've taken 5 car loads full of sneakers, and I've barely made a dent. So it's taking some time. But anyways, we'll talk about the UFC strike updates tomorrow. So you will be prepared before that drop happens. We didn't have time to talk about it today, but I think we'll be okay. And we talked about it a little at the end of the stream yesterday. So if you are really fiending for some UFC information, just go back and watch the end of that video, and you'll at least get a good idea of everything that's happening. How we feel about the drop, the moments they're going to be in it, stuff like that. So, yeah, sorry, guys, I didn't do enough video drops. I tried to keep up with the chat, but I also talked a lot about the blog and was pretty focused on that. But if you have any questions, you can always DM me or tweet me at ActuallyJebBush. I'm on the Discord. I'm pretty accessible there. So feel free to hit me up. But I hope everyone has a great day. I hope everyone is feeling bullish or excited, or at least not depressed about Top Shot. I know there was, before the Spaces, there was a lot of people that were losing hope. So I'm hoping that this kind of reinvigorated us, some IRL utility, a lot of like very good, tangible promises. Always great to see. Yeah, Eric, I this is the 1996 original one too. I thrifted this. It's probably my favorite hat right now. But yeah, thank you to everyone for checking us out. I will be back tomorrow with another episode of the Morning Marketplace. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. I think we got to close the same way we finished. We got to finish strong. So let me find that. I still need to get it. Okay, found it. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Well, the Top Shot streaks